Yes,
There you
we are
are.
here.
Okay, thank you. And then I have Mr. Gojak representing, I believe, the respondent minor in this case. Is that correct?
The mother, Your Honor.
The mother, thank you. And is Melissa Warden present?
Melissa Warden, ¿está presente?
Okay.
Your Honor, I still have not had any contact with my client. That's been an ongoing issue throughout this entire case.
Right.
So I don't know if at this time the court would like me to remain on the case or if I am excused since I've just not been able to do anything on this case.
Good morning, Your Honor. And so mother has just recently been served.
See,
And so she may
it's your turn. I'll have you sit down.
stepping up to respond now.
And I believe, Ms. Farr, that was one of the primary issues you were working on, was helping with that service on mom.
Yes.
And when was that done? Do you know?
It was this week, I believe.
Fue sábado, el sábado.
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
They just filed the proof of service yesterday, I believe. I haven't seen it yet.
So was there any new updated contact information for mother that we could give to Mr. Gojak?
They just happened to be at the same place at the same time and were able to serve her.
So I think my preference, and I will ask for parties' input, would be to set this out about 2 weeks to see if mother reaches out to attorney and whether she's going to get a response filed.
So, Your Honor, if I can explain one critical issue in this case, and that is that the grandmother is about to lose her job over this because she has to keep taking time off work for these hearings. And so I would suggest that we set it out to give mother the 20-day notice period so that we can go forward and enter the emergency guardianship at the same time on the next hearing.
Okay. Even if she doesn't appear, I see what you're saying.
Correct.
Mr. Gojak, any issue with that? And I do fully acknowledge your client has not been in communication with you.
Objection, Your Honor. We can just set it out over 20 days.
Well, we looked for a couple.
En una van negra.
A couple weeks ago, we looked for. A couple weeks ago, we went to Aberdeen to look for her. She is now currently living in a van, in a black van.
Mm-hmm. So would the parties prefer October 17 or October 24?
Cualquier fecha está bien conmigo.
I would prefer the 17th. I have a trial on the 24th.
Okay.
The 17th is okay.
Okay. And our hope is that this will after that appearance will slow down the amount of times you have to appear, because we do understand how important it is to keep your job.
Gracias.
Thank you.
And I appreciate Ms. Farr bringing that to the court's attention. So I will reissue the immediate order through October 17th at 10:30 a.m. Mr. Gojak, if there's no participation from your client at that time, then I will entertain your request to withdraw.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything else from any party on this matter?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Your Honor.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Interpreter. We appreciate you. In Zoom booth
You're welcome.
1, can you identify yourself?
Era que nom donna sumput nampai errauito puspusiri. Yes, my name is Rifian.
I was asking about service last time, and the parties did file the death certificate for the father. Do I have the petitioners online?
I'm sorry, what is that?
Do I have the guardianship petitioners online with us?
Yes, they're here.
Where are they? Are they in the Zoom booth as well?
Yes, they're with me.
Okay. Can you two come and identify yourself in front of the iPad camera?
Retreat. Last name Sirik.
Retreat Silik, that's my name.
Okay. And do we have anyone else?
Hey, por wargitan.
I know last name Fares.
Okay. So what I see in this case is just a minor guardianship petition filed. I don't see that an emergency guardianship order has been requested. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes, correct.
Okay. I see that Rivian is the mother and has filed a consent to minor guardianship. Is that also correct?
Correct.
Correct.
And then the father, as we stated before, a death certificate has been filed. Ms. Farr, are you still with us? I know you're not on this case yet.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Okay.
I apologize. I wasn't listening though.
No, we have I was just going to pick your brain a little bit about whether in this type of situation, prior judicial officers have simply moved them onto a trial setting calendar. We have just a minor guardianship, no emergency minor guardianship filed. Bio mother is consenting. Bio father has passed and they have filed the death certificate.
In my experience, then the court would just go ahead and enter the findings on the minor guardianship. I mean, on the standard guardianship.
Okay. No need. Typically that's not then just sent to a full trial setting.
Not when there's a consent and then the other parent is is absent, deceased. No.
Okay. So let me just ask Rivian, is it Alfonso, a few questions?
Yes.
Okay. So this is Court Commissioner Jill Karmy. I just want to ask you a few questions to confirm your consent to the minor guardianship.
Yes, correct.
Okay. You filed a consent to this guardianship arrangement with Retreat Cynic, and is it Ino Ferris?
Yes.
And this is regarding the guardianship of your biologic child, Isia Noah.
Yes.
Okay. And do you understand that you do not have to agree to this guardianship?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand that you could also seek legal counsel before making this type of decision?
Yes.
Okay. And do you understand that if you wanted to object to this, you could have the right to go to a full legal proceeding to present your case?
Yes.
Okay. And do you understand that once the court has approved this guardianship, if you want to end it before it expires, you would have to come back to court and petition for that?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. And knowing all of those factors, do you still wish to enter into the consent for guardianship?
Yes.
So given that indication from your biological mother, the court will go ahead and sign the request for minor guardianship, finding it is in the best interest of the children as described in the petition and as requested by the mother and consented to by the mother.
Okay. Thank you.
Your
Your Honor,
Go
sorry.
ahead. Yes, go ahead, Ms. Farr. Yeah.
Just one thing that to make sure that check the JIS for CPS records. That's all.
Okay.
Just a second. I think I made notes of that the first time, but I am going to triple check it because it is very important. So hold tight.
It is so.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you.
we are good. Thank you again, Ms.
That
Farr. I
is-
appreciate that. Can you identify yourself? There's so many people on Zoom.
That's all right. Molly Curry.
Okay. And who else do we have present on this matter?
John Curry.
Okay. And Emily Dietrich, are we expecting?
No, nobody has been able to find her still.
Okay. Let me just pull up that file. And I believe when I looked at it too, the parent number 2 is unknown. Is that correct?
As of there's one potential that has taken a DNA test that we completed last week, and so it's still unknown.
So it sounds like to me we are in a position where, and certainly Ms. Farr, Ms. Day can jump in, but where we would need to appoint a court visitor to help flesh out these service issues because we can't move forward with the lack of service I have in front of me.
yeah, I have no clue on how to contact her and how to complete this.
Well, yeah, and we have to be able to determine parent number 2 with some specificity and or figure out alternative service methods, or I just can't move forward with what I have in front of me today.
Your Honor, this is Tina Day.
Yep.
I think it would make sense to appoint a court visitor to at least investigate that portion or see where things are at with service, and then come back in maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, give some time to look into that, whether, I don't know who's on the registry right now, but I would agree that service needs to be affected or some result needs to be provided to the court that's conclusive.
Okay. Thank you for that input. I think at this point I have yourself and Ms. Farr. I'm just asking the clerk, do you have them in a order now? You don't keep those? No. Okay. Okay. I'll prepare the order, and then court administration will just put the next person on the registry.
Yep.
Okay. I will get that done. So, Mr. and Mrs. Curry, what that means is I'm going to fill out an order that assigns a court visitor to you. It will likely be Ms. Day or Ms. Farr. They will reach out to you. We'll come back. I'd like to give you 3 weeks, especially with an unknown parent. There could be some additional digging that needs to take place. So I'm going to say October 17 at 10:30, if that works for you.
Okay.
Okay. And then
yes,
we'll
Your
come
Honor,
back on that
matter,
date and see where we are with
concluded
service
trial
issues.
yesterday. So trial is in front of Judge Evans, and he's going to make a ruling on Friday. So that's where that case is.
So we'd ask to extend the order. I believe it actually it ends today. So we'd ask for an extension of the emergency minor just until that decision comes out on Friday.
Okay. And that's what I did see, was that he had already set a date for his ruling. So let me just get to the last order. Okay. So our last order. I thought said through the hearing, but maybe it didn't. Give me just a second. The duration of our last order went through the quote, until a final hearing is held, end quote. Since that hearing's been held, but you don't have a ruling, do you folks want me to re-up it through September 29th, or are you comfortable with the language that's in the last order?
I'd like it re-up, just given the issues at hand. I can draft that though, since I have the original one. I can, just so Your Honor doesn't have any more work to do, I can just change the date on it and send it up.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess my position was we don't need another order if that's what the order reflects, because the hearing hasn't been concluded. So, but that's fine if counsel wants to draft another order.
Okay, let's just do that out of abundance of caution. I know different people could read that wording different. So we'll go ahead and Ms. Winkles, go ahead and draft that, circulate it. And then if you email it over to Sylvia, I will get it signed. Okay. So I know last time we were all together, and Ms. Farr, I know you're on this case. And what other parties do I have here present on this case?
My client's present. Kendra Rapp is present.
Okay. Do we have Brian Weaver? And do we have the petitioners?
Yes, Jane Woodruff, Your Honor. Sorry, my unmute button would not show up for me to unmute it.
No, you're fine. Okay. So when we were together last, there was kind of a perhaps lack of communication to be able to get a report done and fully move forward with the show cause hearing. Where are we at now?
Your Honor, I apologize. I still haven't been able to get my report filed and filed with the court yet. And so I can, if Your Honor would give me another 2 weeks, I'll get that off to the court within the next few days.
Okay. Do you need any further input from the parties, or have you been able to get that now?
I am going to need some follow-up, but I think I can get all that done and still get my report in by the beginning of the week.
Oh, okay. So, Mr. Anagnosto, it looks like we would, and I don't have a report, and I would want that before we go forward. I understand the difficulties in this case that have arisen. So I would recommend we shoot this over 2 weeks to October 10th. to continue for a show cause hearing?
Yes, Your Honor, my client wants to expand visits. Currently, they are supervised by the petitioning party. And I think she's only, the last visit she had was, I think on September 4th. And so, she wants to see Shyla, more often between, if it's set over, we need to set up some visits between now and the 10th.
My understanding is she's getting every other week, right?
Yeah, last. Oh, sorry. Last time. We're getting feedback. Last time we were here together, we did address visitation, and I did add every other week visitation for 2 hours. It was visitation to be every other week up to 2 hours at a time. I did say this would be interim. When I say that, I mean pending a full report. So absent further input, I don't think anything has changed since we were here just a couple weeks ago. I'd like to maintain visitation as is just for this 2-week interim period. And then we will make sure to address the full guardianship. And if needed, depending on whether a guardianship is granted, we will address visitation at that time.
Okay, very good, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
When I looked at this, one of the things we were waiting on was to see if a full petition request has been filed. And I believe that it has now.
That's correct, Your Honor. That has been filed, and I believe everybody's been served. And petitioner, Ms. Levitt, may have an update for us from this morning.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Levitt.
Hi. Well, I talked to Kurt yesterday, or was it this morning, whatever. And Monique is evidently going to sign off, which makes me very happy. So the only thing, she wants Wednesdays from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and she wants every weekend. I'm willing to give her every other weekend because she now is living with her mother in an apartment in Castle Rock, which he'd have to sleep on the couch, but she's got somewhere for him to visit her. I'm doing the every other weekend because I have to let his dad see him also. So I think we're all kind of working together on this.
Okay. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I apologize, Your Honor, but that's correct. We yesterday we were talking about potentially trying to resolve on the main guardianship case on a long-term basis, so I was wondering if we could set this over a couple of weeks. Miss Day, I think, would need to potentially weigh in on this settlement, and I haven't had an opportunity to talk to her about it, but I think we're close to having a resolution.
Yeah, I think that does sound very promising. I really appreciate the parties working together on this. I think the best thing to do, especially since I do have some time now that the full petition has been filed, I can reissue the extended emergency minor guardianship through the date of the hearing on the full petition. And then we'll set this case on for a couple weeks out to see if we have resolution on all issues.
I was thinking we had resolution.
Sounds like there might be a couple sticking points. So I'm going to give you guys a little more time.
Like, what would that mean?
Well,
Mr. Anagnosto, how much time?
I think 2 weeks. As Ms. Levitt reported, my client requested every weekend. I'm just hearing today that it would be every other. I would need to talk to her about that.
Right.
And then Miss Day, I think, would need to know what's going on. And so if we could just get 2 weeks to potentially iron out the details, that would we could get this resolved.
Yeah.
And Ms. Levitt, that would allow everybody to review and then sign off. We may not even need to come back if everybody signed. The orders could be presented.
Correct.
Okay. I think, Ms. Levitt, that makes a lot of sense to me for all the parties working together. So let's go ahead and regroup on this case on October 10th. I will extend the emergency order through the potential hearing on the full petition. I don't think we'll need to go that far. And hopefully on the 10th, we'll be able to resolve all issues. Okay.
Your Honor, if I may,
Go Go ahead, sir.
It's a short period of time. I was never issued a court-appointed attorney. So, I mean, somebody advised me that I should maybe get one.
Okay. You're Mr. Lewis?
Yes,
Okay. And you are the father in this matter?
correct.
Okay. Have you been working with the parties on this potential resolution?
Yes and no. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to stir the pot.
Well, so I just want to be clear. I mean, in all likelihood, you were not appointed an attorney because you filed a consent to the minor guardianship. Has that changed?
I didn't drop him off to my mom's to be vetoed out of his life. That's all I'm saying. I hardly ever get to see him anymore. I'm not allowed at the house where my son is being raised. The husband of my mother, Roy Levitt, is he does not like me one bit at all. He goes out of his way to make sure that I am unhappy with my visits, whether that's calling the police on me every last 5 times I've dropped him off.
Okay. So just to be clear, and you've been in front of me several times. I just want to be clear. You are making a request to be screened for an attorney.
Yes.
Okay. Are you at this point considering rescinding the consent you signed on March 23 of 2023?
At this point, yes, I am.
Okay. Let me ask you some questions about your income. Do you receive any sort of state assistance?
Just the food stamps.
Okay. Well, with receiving food stamps, you would qualify for an attorney appointed through the courts. I don't know who that person will be. Court administration will have to determine that and send you that information. I will get an order appointing done today. Given this, I guess, counsels, we may want to set this out a little further than 2 weeks. What do you think?
Well, I guess my thought is potentially we could resolve the case with regards to my client and leave Mr. Levitt's part of it open for appointment of counsel and pursuing some other remedies.
So are you thinking you want, for your client's sake, you want to keep the review date of 10/10 on for now?
I would.
Okay.
My client's very interested in getting this matter resolved.
Okay.
And I think Miss Gail Levitt, the petitioner, is in the same boat. But if Mr. Lewis wants to pursue other remedies, then yeah, he has the right to counsel and pursuing those. But.
Okay.
May I say something, please?
On what topic?
Well, he doesn't have a home or a job.
Yes. So I don't, ma'am. He's asked for an attorney to preserve his rights in this proceeding. He is the biologic father. I'm not going to let us talk about the merits now that he's requested an attorney and potentially wants to revoke consent. So I'm going to go ahead and appoint. When we come back and he is with that attorney, we'll go ahead and take this argument. Okay. Okay. So we'll see you all back on 10/10. I'll get an order appointing and I'll reissue the just to make sure. Did all the parties receive the guardian ad litem report before today?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I received it. I'm going to be honest with the court. I have not read it yet because I was in trial very, very late yesterday. And then I had clients that I'd missed. So I was working till about 8 p.m. So I have not reviewed it, but I can quickly review it right now. Okay.
And then did the folks review the objection to minor guardianship filed by David Birch and Norleen Loveness?
When was that?
This was a bench copy sent via email to me yesterday, but it looks like it was filed with the court on September 14.
Oh, then I've seen that.
Okay. Okay.
I'd ask that it be said over. I just read the recommendations just at the end. I haven't discussed it with my client, so I'd ask that maybe can we just get a week so I can get my client to submit whatever she wants or just agree.
Yeah, here's going to be my proposal because I'm concerned about, I mean, obviously I've read the recommendations, I've read the objections. I am having concerns about the guardian that has been appointed, given what I'm reading. I would like the input of the minor. But more importantly, if this is a scenario where there is a recommendation, and it looks like in the objections it's mentioned for a successor guardian that the parties actually agree on, I would want them to file an emergency minor guardianship petition, because if so I went, as I read through this, I went back to the statute and looked at what remedies I have if I do decide to terminate. I do have some wiggle room to craft a termination in the best interest of the child that would slowly move them from one guardian to another. But I would need to know that these guardians who are now being recommended would be appropriate. So I would like that to happen in the interim while we do this set over.
I have something for the court. I'm just curious because I can't speak to mom and dad as they're both represented, but maybe their counsel can speak to them. I've met with I guess father's sister, who is a Cassandra Birch that lives in town. I'm not sure I guess she's very friendly with both mom and David. I don't know how they feel about her. And I don't know if Miss Day has met with her. I know nothing about her. She was one. My client, the child, also mentioned a Kristen Breyer in Vancouver, who is the mother of a classmate of hers and somebody that it's the Cinder Birch's best friend's daughter, if that makes sense. If you could maybe speak to your clients about that. I'm just remember my client is 12 years old. So if you can just maybe speak to your clients about them as a possible guardian.
Yeah. Your Honor, I would ask that if possible, we could set this over to the Thursday docket rather than a whole week. That would give enough time. I think if Ms. Winkles agrees, I too am very concerned and do not want to leave this child in the circumstances that they're in for any longer than is absolutely necessary.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my recommendations, because I think there's a number of issues now that have come up with the petitioner that I do agree we've got to get a transition plan. I mean, not to show my hand. Hold on.
Do that. I thought they were going to do that, but I wasn't sure.
Hold on. You need to mute.
Norland, you're not muted.
There you go. I do think we need to start coming up with this transition plan. The reason a week sounded acceptable is hopefully these new guardians that have been identified as Georgiana Friend and Brianna McCabe could potentially have filed an emergency minor guardianship petition in a week. So we could start looking at them. But I think at the very least, getting this on for a review on Thursday to see if we can start doing that transition makes a lot of sense.
I will be available on the Thursday, but I won't be able to meet my client tomorrow. I have a doctor's appointment myself in Portland.
Okay.
That unfortunately is at 9:30 that I have to go to. It says that I have a trial assignment tomorrow as well. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but I am probably out of the office until 3 p.m. tomorrow. I'm not sure if Miss Kearney's here, if the child can be brought to my office after 3 p.m. tomorrow. That would be the only way I'd be able to make the Thursday.
Yeah. Or if the child could log on also Thursday. I don't know if they're in school. If the child could log on for this hearing Thursday, we could put you in a Zoom breakout room.
She could also come to my office on Thursday and just be dropped off, and she can bring Kristen Kearney says she can bring her to my office.
Yep.
She's also welcome to stay at my office all day on Thursday as well. And just hang out there while we have it. She's in school.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and set the review. I'm going to set 2 dates just so we're all kind of prepared for where we need to go with this. Cause I think, the declarations and report filed kind of suggest where we need to go. let's set the review for Thursday, this Thursday at 10:30. I'm not sure which judicial officer will be hearing that, but I'll find out and give them a little heads up. And then I am going to set Tuesday back on my docket at 10:30, Tuesday the 3rd. Just to see if nothing happened on Thursday, I'd like to make sure we take care of this next week.
Okay. And as long as the child is in my office by 3 p.m. tomorrow, we should have no problem getting something into the court. It'll be by email, but we can do that.
Okay. Does that work for the parties?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Actually,
Yes,
Your Honor, my
Your Honor.
client
Thank
wanted to make a request to see if she can get any visitation. There's currently a no contact order in place, I believe, and she hasn't been able to have any contact.
Yeah. Let's address that. If that doesn't get addressed on Thursday, let's for sure address that on Tuesday. I know if we were setting this out 2 or 3 weeks, I would address it now, but you're going to be back in 48 hours. So we'll address it at one of your next hearings, I promise. Okay.
Thank
okay.
you, Your Honor.
Consent. Yes, thank you.
Correct. Unfortunately, the father of the children has passed away, and the mother has serious mental health issues, and she has consented. The children have been out here for over a year. They're just starting their second year at the Christian school,
Oh,
Longview Christian.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah,
Christians.
my clients are here, Mario and Nancy Gambaro. I was looking at the order, and the order talks about basically some evidence with regards to granting the guardianship. And so I have them here prepared to give some testimony to Your Honor regarding the need for this guardianship to be concluded. I guess the alternative, I mean, the statute talks about appointment of a guardian ad litem. I don't think we need a guardian ad litem in this case. If the court wants to hear the testimony and the basis for granting this guardianship.
The only thing, did they send me the death certificate for the other parent?
I thought I did. I thought that was part of our filings.
Let me I'm just going back to see if I can find it.
Let me see.
And then the only thing is I'm not sure I've received back. And I haven't looked yet on any of the CPS records or anything. I did see the criminal history and bankruptcy disclosure. What if we do this just so we can cover all our bases? I mean, I think this is everyone's first time in front of this court anyway, and it's a full petition request, so we don't have to deal with emergency orders. But my request would be just a short set over so that the petitioners can file with me the death certificate so we know that that's a non-issue. And then that should give us time to make sure we've consulted any CPS records and got the return on that. How does that sound?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And then again, in lieu of appointing a guardian ad litem, my clients can testify about what's going on with the children, their lives, and I think that would be sufficient pursuant to the order for finding a basis for granting the guardianship.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if consent from one parent and the death certificate of the other, I don't have any problem proceeding in that way, so long as I also get that CPS record back, and that's just not something I looked at before today. So how much time would you want to set this over? Maybe 2 weeks?
Yeah, whatever's convenient for Your Honor.
Okay.
Your 2-week calendar is sounding.
I know, I was just going to ask, what are our numbers looking like for the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th? So let's go ahead and put this on to the 10th. That'll give me a little time to get those other records in. And then we'll just move forward with brief testimony and the court will make a ruling.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. This, I understand from our last conversation. Oh, we probably have some witnesses also back with us, I'm guessing. So Cassandra Redden is the petitioner. The folks on Mario's iPad, what is your name?
Excuse me, ma'am. We're the Gambaro family. We were with the last case.
Oh, okay. So on this one, when we were together last, we did discuss phone visitation. I'll come back to that, but it looks like father had been served.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then Ms. Muldoon, you had not been served, but you did allow service by email.
Yeah, which I never received, Your Honor.
You have not received?
No, not at all. I've been checking emails all week.
Okay.
Yeah, well, the last 2 weeks.
So I'm just looking, I have an affidavit of service on September 12th.
The email said it sent, Your Honor.
Well, oh, just a second. Cassandra, are you the one who sent it?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So the very top line, I don't fault you for this. This is legal mumbo jumbo, but the very top line of the proof of service says that you have to be 18 years of age or older and not a party to this action.
Yes, but you said that I could send it to her, so I did.
No, I said I'm authorizing email service. I would never step in front of a statutory guideline for who can serve. So when I say you can serve her by email, that doesn't mean you personally. That means for your case, you can serve her, but you still have to comply with the statutory requirement that it be a third party. It cannot be you. And it sounds like it didn't get to her. So what email? Let's make sure we're all working off of the same email first.
Yes,
Ms. Muldoon, what's your email? Is that the address you have, ma'am? Ms. Redden, is that the address you have for email?
Yes, it is. I can try to set up something for somebody to actually email it or deliver it to her.
I can't tell you how to make your case work. I can tell you I've authorized email service. It sounds like the email that you have is the same email for her, but you also can personally serve her if you are able to get someone there to personally hand her the documents. So I'm going to have to leave that up to the two of you. I can give you a little more time to get that accomplished, but I can't move forward today with anything on the record.
Your Honor, am I able to have any type of, like, have my son at all? I'm not sure, like, because he is allowed to be at the, with me where I'm at, so.
Yeah, let's get back to that in just a second. So I did say at our last hearing, we would readdress visitation. Okay. So first, what I'm going to do, Ms. Redden, how much time do you need to get that served?
We can try to work it today.
Okay. So do you guys want to come back in 1 week on October 3rd?
Sure.
Okay. And then Ms. Muldoon, last time I asked you this, are you requesting an attorney at this point? Or are you still declining to have an attorney appointed?
I would like to decline an attorney at this time. I would like to just get served so I can go over the papers with my my navigators and my recovery people.
Okay. So I'm going to set this just 1 week to October 3rd of 2023.
Okay.
It'll be at 10:30 a.m. Because it's just a 1 week set over, Ms. Muldoon, would you be willing to wait and address visitation at that time? I know at the last appointment, we did add in some visitation, just not in person yet. Would you be willing to hold off on that request just 1 more week?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I really appreciate you always being able to work with the court, and I know you're working on your sobriety, and we continue to congratulate you for that. So keep doing what you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'll get the order extended one more week, and then
Okay.
you'll all be back here October 3rd. And my hope is Ms. Muldoon has had a chance to review that paperwork for any response by the 3rd.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you all. Any questions?
Thank you so much.
Your
No, Your
Honor.
Honor.
I do have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Can we is there a way to make sure that she is still in rehab?
I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm guessing that's where she's zooming in from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I will go ahead. Do we have any other cases, or is that it? Okay. I will go ahead and end docket. We'll see you.